You are listening to Just a Cup on Believe, an organic conversation with some of the world's greatest athletes and the individuals that help get to them there. And I have with me right now, Cathy George, longtime volleyball coach at Michigan State, at UT Arlington, at North Dakota State, Western Michigan, and now with the Grand Rapids Rise in the PVF. We're talking about volleyball. We're talking about exciting things. I wanted to, obviously the Olympics are coming up, and is there a pretty good percentage of individuals that played in the PVF that are going to play on the Olympic team or have that experience?
Yeah, there are several, and not only are there some that are playing with the U.S. team, there are others that are playing from other countries, because we have brought over players that have played, that come from Europe, different countries in Europe that have played for their national teams as well. So you're getting a unique blend of players that have had those experiences, that have been playing in all the prelims and all those things that kind of come up through it, and it makes it really exciting. But they all know each other. This is the funny thing, because they've all played against each other, right, whether it be with their national teams or professionally or what have you. So they're looking across the net, and they've all had experiences together. So.
Do you think having the Pro Volleyball League, do you think that's going to help us on the Olympic level from a standpoint of growth?
I do. I think that over time, right now, when you look at volleyball in the world, you still have some of those, you have countries in Italy and Turkey. You have some high level players that are the top of their national teams, and they're playing at a level that, like, that's another notch, right? But as the American players start coming back here, and you take them out of those teams there, now all of a sudden we're building something really big here too. And so I think you're gonna see that strength where the national team can keep their eyes on them a little bit more. You can see the growth of players. We can develop people. We actually add to the number of players that will be playing professionally throughout the world, which gives you more selection, which gives you training. And as the communication between the national team and national teams and the coaches, you can start to work towards that kind of a thing, so that we're making sure that it's a win-win for everybody.
I'll get you a little prediction. How does the U.S. do you think is going to fare at the Olympics this year?
It's been interesting, because the United States had qualified in that, and they're playing in a VNL, and so they're trying different players out and working it through. So you really haven't seen the finished product, and they're all kind of getting ready and playing in this tournament. So I believe in the people that we have. We have a great coaching staff and so many quality athletes. So we have the pieces in place. And there's other great players across the world, so we'll see how that works out. But we won it the last time and have a lot of returning players, so we're looking for a great Olympics this summer.
The Olympics are so exciting.
Yeah, they are.
It's one of those. I know I get fired up, and I'm Go USA all the time with that. So
you watch so many sports, and it's so much fun to watch people just go and be the best they can. It's really about just throwing yourself in, and then the mental strength, right? It's right. The mental strength is so cool to watch. And even with little failures, how can somebody bounce back, and what do they do? And I love that, just that growth mindset that you see, because people are trying to be so precise and so.
It's definitely exciting. Yeah. When you talk about, you spent so much time in college. You won 60% of your games, which is amazing. That's a heck of a run over the longevity of the amount of time you were in college. What do you see, it's different? Now you're out of the college game, which a lot of coaches have started to shift out of it when they can. What do you see as the biggest difference from when you first started coaching in college to when you ended coaching in college?
Oh boy,
that's a tough question.
That's a lot. That's a long time. So, you go over almost 4 decades, right? That's amazing. There has been changes, but it's also grown so much. The focus on college athletics has grown. The business of athletics has changed. It's, it used to be we played and, to be able to play and represent your school and do that. And everybody was excited for that opportunity. And they were very thankful and grateful for any opportunities you had to play college ball. But now it's turned into, just it's entertainment, right? It's the entertainment industry, and it has billions of dollars that go into all of that, and you're capitalizing on TV, and you're capitalizing through other streams and trying to get everything going on. But it is big business. No, make no mistake about that. And yet we're in an educational setting and trying to make all that happen. And I just think that the problems that have come from that, like the things that have made it different, really, make it hard. It's taking away from what I enjoyed the most with collegiate athletics, was this purity of playing and just doing it because you love the sport. And, I think that there's so many different reasons to play now, and not necessarily just for the love of the sport, but for what you can gain out of it. And not that that's bad.
Right.
If I'm in engineering or I'm in the business world, whatever, I want to be the best and have the best opportunities I can. But it's changed the focus, to a degree, and to a big degree, for sure.
I'll be very curious, 5 years from now or so, how it translates into the pros. Like, are they coming in better or worse from a standpoint of just dealing with things? Because, now they're dealing with name, image, and likeness and contracts and all those kind of things that you didn't necessarily ever have to deal with previously. But now they're basically pro athletes, but representing a college.
I'm so nervous for all of it, really, because I'm one of these people that like to look at the big picture and the unintended consequences. I mean, you just look at the publicity that everybody gets, and there's a real downside to that. I mean, really there is, because there's so much pressure on all these athletes to be the greatest and do this and do that, and everybody's watching. And then as we get things, like, let's put it like, everybody knows that in the real world is like, when you get things, there's so much expected from you, and when you don't deliver on that, there's a lot of downside on that, especially with social media being what it is, and just the criticism you can take and how hard that can be. And I think that a lot of mental health issues can come from that, and so we have to be careful what we wish for, and make sure that we are, again, going back to the purity of what we're trying to do, which is to become elite at something that that we have the ability to do, that we've been given the gifts of. That's, we're trying to maximize ourselves and be the best we can, but we can't get so distracted with all of this other stuff that can really mess with you, really, honestly.
I mean, coming from a coaching standpoint, I mean, you've had an opportunity to mentor so many coaches along the way. Yeah. I know a few of them, and have done an amazing job. What would be advice that you would give to that young coach right now that's coming up? What advice would you give them as they started their journey?
Well, I don't know that. When I retired, I got out right before all this hit and I said, honestly, I knew that if I stayed in it, there'd be a way for me to figure out how I'd want to recruit with this, how I'd want to manage all of it. But I really was so depleted with everything in my life at that time that I just said, that's for the younger group to do. And I know they'll figure out ways, because at the end of the day, they love their players. And the coaches love their players, and I want them to continue that. I want them to really build into them, grow them, help them be the best they can be, and just keep your mind. Don't forget that part of it, because there's these athletes are going through a lot with all the pressures that are there. And can you help them through that, and yet keep them down to earth with what we're trying to do? And remember to be a teammate. Remember to be, to understand that the cohesion, especially in a sport like volleyball, it has to be there. Like, you have to give of yourself for others. You have to continue to be selfless, even though sometimes that might not make your image and likeness be what it could be. It's like, right. You still, believe me, your image and likeness will be just fine if you're a great team player, and if you're working towards team success. You will grow your brand. You will grow those things because people will see you that way. And there's a lot of value in that, for sure.
Is there something that you work with to do the team cohesion part? I mean, within your team right there?
We started off this year, and it was really pretty quick, a quick turnaround. And we worked with HumanX, and as you know, Matt and that group and what have you. I think that we need, I'd like to dive in a little bit more, because the time constraints became a little bit challenging, because we didn't have that big preseason type of thing. And right. This year, I know we're going to have added time. We can really dive into it a little bit more. But I think if you look at our all the programs within the league, you kind of went through some some times where everybody kind of struggled a little bit as a team.
Sure.
And the teams actually grew through that. It was almost good. It was almost good that they struggled a bit, because I think that when you work through struggle, that's where you find your team. That's where you find how you're going to work through that is what's going to help develop you, because we didn't have all that time to begin with. That's where it was. And so I think it was awesome to watch our team go through a challenging part of the year. We went through a challenging part. It was, we were tired, we were exhausted, the travel was a lot, whatever, but then we came through that, and I thought we grew, and that's when we pulled together. I enjoy that. I love that about teams. I love, seeing them conquer the difficult and, just build around it. And everybody's just, looking at each other like, hey, we need to do this together. And that's really the purpose. That's what you need to do.
What's that mean? You guys won 3 of the last 4. So, that's coming on when you're supposed to come on in a season.
Yeah. And honestly, we did come on at the right time. And it was, just this drive and the belief that they started having in each other, and that we just stayed with that common purpose of what we wanted to do. And that was, you saw that in the end for sure. And we had hoped that would be the way we were going to go. We knew we were going to have some bumps and bruises. The league is so good. Honestly, the teams, the parity across was really good, and you had to have respect for everybody. And so I loved the level of competition, and I loved how we, saw players learn from it throughout the season, grow from it, and then respond.
I think, the fact that you coached in college for, 37 years and you still have the fire right now that it seems like, that's awesome. That would make me fired up if I was actually competing for you. And I think that's something that coaches kind of lost in a lot of ways. A lot of coaches are right now, because of how society is and how kids are, they're afraid to coach in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah. I think that that's true. But I also think that people are still the same. When I go back to, like, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be understood, they want to be helped. That, everybody's the same. Now they've gotten distracted with a lot of things. What can I have, whatever it is. But basically we're all there again. So if we can, you said, what do you want to tell coaches? Keep your mind on that. What are you doing is building into people and building into your players, and how do you help them grow? They want to be heard. They want to be understood, and you want to help them learn and grow. And so you have to stay with that. And I think that that still can happen.
So what's up next for you as a coach? You're as the season, season ends. Is this like free agent time? This is,
yes, indeed.
Trying to recruit the next player.
Yeah, it's we're going through this period where all the players in the league became free agents June 1st, and on June 30th. Yes, because we didn't have multiple year contracts. Now that's starting to change, but they're all there, so all the coaches are able to talk to all the players, and so we're all at that forming our team again. So, but we're all on the same page. And I think some of that had to do with we had new teams, and they, you wanted to give them the opportunity to also vie for these players. So I don't think it'll always be this way, but it is. And at this current time, and it may be still, I don't know, but it's been fun, but it's been fun in a way that you get to know new people, and you're talking to other players and finding out about them. And so we'll put together a strong team. We know that, and excited about that, and excited for them to learn about Grand Rapids. I think the thing that was really cool is that there were a lot of players on our team last year, and they had no idea what to expect. They were from all over the country. They had no idea of what to expect with Grand Rapids. And Brian, I don't think you've been here, or have you been to Grand Rapids?
It was a long time ago.
It's amazing. And it's like a really cool downtown city area. It really is. And a lot of our players from different parts of the country were like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this would be like that. And they said that people were wonderful to us. They've been so, welcoming and caring. And it's just it's a great city and lots to do. And you just didn't know that it would be like this. So I was really glad. So that word's getting out there a little bit and people are more open to it because first of all, they're like, where's Grand Rapids? What the heck is that? It's just snowy, that's all there is. And I mean, It really is, we're surrounded by water on 3 sides and we have beaches all the way through. And it's a cool downtown and it's a great community and to live in. And so there's a lot more to it than just snow.
Now, will there be a draft? Would you guys have a collegiate
draft? Still a draft coming through, and we'll go through that this fall. We're able to pick up. I think they're going to be at 5 players. We'll go 5 rounds, and there's a lot of talent in the draft this year. There is, and you know why that is? COVID meets the seniors. So you have double trouble here. You have people that have gone for their extra year and now they're adding. And so there's a lot of really good talent. And so we're looking forward to that too.
Oh, that's awesome. Just the excitement of, again, starting a league. I was fortunate to be a part of the start of the Puma America Track League, which is a little bit different, but it's still an excitement of you getting to start and getting to do things fresh and new. And I can tell that, you say, you retired and that was from college coaching because you definitely don't, your energy is well more for.
Well, I will tell you though, that when I retired, I really was, I don't want to go through too much of it, but like I was trying to do too much all at one time and, my mother in hospice and everything, and it was taking a lot out of me and I've never coached without energy. And I was doing that at the time. And I couldn't live with myself with that. I can't, no. And I'm not going to put, the athletes through that or, my family or my mother or whoever. And that's just not the way to do anything. So like, if you're going to do something, do it full out, do it right. Do it the right way. And I was really not all there. And so to find that I had that little bit of a break and to come back and know that I'm there again and it's exciting and I'm ready to go. But I needed that at that time. And I'm sure there was a reason for that and it all happened for a purpose. And I think it's to put me here.
Hey, and what an exciting place to be. Absolutely. Yeah. Cathy, thank you so much for joining us. So much stuff. I could talk for a lot longer. I could talk for a lot longer about this stuff than I'm sure anybody would want to listen to. But thank you for joining Just a Cup. And where if somebody wants to get information about the Rise, where can they get that?
grrise.com. So you can go on website, just pull that up, and boy, you'll find all of that. And I think as you look at June 30th, you'll start to see players from the league all being unveiled. So all of that will start to come around and you'll start to be able to see your teams unfold and then pick your pony and say, who do I think is going to, go get it next year. But I think I know that all the teams are working hard and they're getting great players. So we're excited.
I was going to end with that, but I was going to ask you, where can you watch? I watched some of the stuff on CBS Sports, the final couple matches.
YouTube was carrying all the matches, and then CBS again is going to be with us next year, and so they'll be picking up matches as well. I think they're adding some inventory next year as well.
That's awesome. Growing sport. I love to see that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Cathy, again, thank you so much. You've been listening to Just a Cup on Believe. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. We want this to continue to grow, and you definitely want to share this episode with friends, because if they're volleyball, but if they just like sports, period, they get a little bit out of this. So have a great one and be blessed, my friends.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.